to our the normal podcast.
We'll talk with Adam, and with me today is real estate agent Jennifer Verge.
Hello,
And
hello.
hello, and we have Mr. Chris Weber here hanging out to keep us laughing.
Thank you very much for having me, Adam. I appreciate it.
Thanks for sitting in. So,
Yes, sir.
So anyway, obviously everybody knows I do write mortgages, and Jennifer is a real estate agent, so her and I go hand in hand.
Extraordinary.
We get along well. And we just wanted to go over a few things. It's been a while since I've come on here, and we'd like to discuss a couple programs that are available to our borrowers right now, and some changes within the market itself with respect to FHA, VA, and other products we'll talk about. So anyway, how's everybody doing?
I'm good.
Doing great.
I'm going on a cruise tomorrow, so I'm
Wednesday?
happy.
Oh my lord!
Well, we better hurry up so you can get home and pack.
Yeah, I haven't packed. I haven't started anything.
Now I'm
I
jealous.
do it like 2 minutes before we leave for the
Right.
airport. I just start throwing
and
stuff
then
in
whatever
there.
you forget, whatever.
I'll buy it there. That's what I always say. I'll just buy it there if I forgot it. But anyway, Jennifer, how are you? Let's start with what you're seeing out there in the marketplace, because your boots on the street.
Yeah.
And the inventory, prices, things like that.
Well, we have been seeing homes sit on the market a little bit longer than we have in the past. Probably within the past 6 to 8 months or so, we've been seeing a little bit of a slowdown as far as the sales go. I think a lot of people are still listing their homes a little bit higher than they should, kind of hoping and anticipating that we're going to get a whole bunch of people coming from other states to purchase their home and offer $20,000, $30,000 over asking price. That market is gone. So we're actually, it's giving us a little bit of a chance for our buyers to actually have a chance to look at homes. I just submitted an offer last night, as a matter of fact, on a property. And I was telling my buyers, we went to go see the properties first, and then they've narrowed it down. They have a list, and they're like, okay, we've narrowed it to these 3. Let's go see these houses again. That was not happening about
Right.
a year ago.
No, not at all.
If you didn't see the house and literally submit an offer within 30 seconds, it was gone.
Yep.
So I told them, I was like, isn't it a nice sigh of relief that you can actually take a chance and think about what you're wanting to offer and which one you really want? Because we didn't have that luxury a little while ago. So this is a great time for buyers. I know that people are a little bit leery because of the interest rates and all that kind of stuff. But not only are there different programs out there that they can qualify for, or that they can try to see if they qualify for, there are also ways that they can pay down their rate. And of course, that later on, if you purchase the property and interest rates go down, you can refinance and try and capitalize on that. So there's a whole bunch of different options out there. We just have to educate the buyers and let them know what's really going on.
Yeah, absolutely. From your standpoint, you just hit it. From a finance guy, people that need financing, I had a really hard time because of the cash buyers, the way things were. Let's emphasize that. Were.
Right.
Okay. It is sellers. It is now more of a buyer's market.
Mhm.
Is that safe to say?
Absolutely.
What that means is our buyers have opportunity to get a better deal in the house. Seller concessions that were non-existent during the seller's market are back.
Mhm.
And, like you said, there's ways we can combat interest rates where they're at now. I don't want to go out there and say they're super high, but they're higher than what we were used to 2 years ago.
Mhm.
All right. That's why everybody's going cray-cray. But anyway, I can speak with a live example in regards to 2-1 buy downs, which we do need seller credits in order to make that happen. What it basically does is it allows our borrowers, they qualify at the fully indexed rate, and then year one of their mortgage life, the interest rate is 2% lower for the first 12 months, and then for the second 12 months, it's 1% lower, and then eventually goes back to its fully indexed rate, but no farther.
Mhm.
It's not like an adjustable rate mortgage, or we're not deferring interest. This is
But I
legit.
have a question there.
Yes.
Let's say rates drop within that first 2 years.
That's what I was just going to ask.
Like what happens then?
Chris, thank you so much for the question.
Wonderful segue.
No, this is an awesome caveat. This is a great caveat. So I'm going to use the example. I have a loan closing next week that it was a pretty expensive home, and the seller was awesome. Gave us like $15,000 in seller credits.
Wow.
So let's just say I
Is that
have
a testament to, real quick, is that a testament to the real estate agent
it is
also?
it is
That's awesome.
Yes.
I want to I did help negotiate that a little bit.
Good.
I mean,
We got to pat him on the back a little too.
I explained to the real estate agents how it works and why we need X
Yep.
amount to make this work. And actually, I had to send a worksheet to the seller so he understood why he was giving that type of money up.
Mhm.
So, and he was a very nice man. So anyway, so let's just, for instance, it costs $11,747 to
Wow.
buy down the 2-1 buy down. So if let's just say they're into it for 12 months and rates come down and they want to refinance into a lower 30-year fixed. So whatever is not utilized out of that $11,747, it is applied to the principal balance of the loan, like on the payoff.
Oh, wow.
So on a refi, you have to order payoffs, right? So whatever is not utilized, it gets applied to that. Same if you were selling. If you were going to sell,
That's not bad.
it pays down the balance.
That's cool.
So none of it goes to waste. The seller pays for it. It works for everybody.
Mhm.
Okay. It works, obviously,
Is
it
there-
works for a buyer.
Is there an
Sorry,
option
go
for them to cash out on that leftover balance? Let's
Uh,
say in 3 months they refi and there's $10,000, like this guy, for example, there's $10,000 still sitting there.
Uh-huh.
Can you say, hey, I'll take that? 10
Well,
grand
no,
back, put it in my
no,
pocket?
they just apply it to the principal balance.
I can't go out and buy a boat or something.
No, you can't just say, hey, can I get that back? And you go buy
You only buy a boat right
What are you
before
buying?
closing.
What type of boat are you
Right
buying for
before closing.
$10,000?
A little putt
A
putt.
John boat?
You can only do it before closing, though. Just remember
Yes,
Yeah.
by cars, helicopters, planes. Yes, right before closing, please.
But yeah, no. So that's the great caveat. None of it goes to waste. And how's everybody benefit from it? Obviously, it's a no-brainer. The borrower benefits. So in my case here, my borrower's saving over $10,623,
Wow.
2 years. And the difference between the rate, their fully indexed
Mhm.
rate and then the lower rates, that's what they're saving on their mortgage payments over the first 2 years. If
That's
if they ride it out for the full 24 months. So they win. The real estate agent wins because what do your sellers do when the house is sitting too long? What's the first thing they want to do?
Reduce the price.
Hey, let's knock it down 10 grand, 15 grand, whatever. You're like, whoa, no. If you know in your heart that it's priced out, this house is priced
Well,
fair market value, you're not over the top.
mhm,
So instead of reducing it, let's offer some incentives
mhm.
that might capture some attention from a potential buyer. You're gonna lose some money anyway if you
Mhm.
lower your purchase price. So let's keep that purchase price where it is. Let's offer some seller credits. So now you like it because you're keeping the price up. He's happy. He or she's happy. Hey, I'm finally selling my house. It's
Exactly.
been sitting here for 40, 50 days on the market and I'm not getting any traction.
And the buyers are happy.
The
because they're
buyer's
getting-
happy. I'm happy because I wrote a loan. I can put, food on the table for my family.
That's important.
So yeah.
More
so
hot dogs
so
and
I
cheese.
think everyone wins. It's a 4-way win for
Wife
everyone
won't
involved.
Beat him as much.
I want to give Adam some kudos, though. He is super also when it comes to dealing with clients. He's very educational. He tells them exactly what they're getting.
Yep.
He's on it. He responds. There's a lot of lenders out there that it's really hard to get a hold of them, or they don't really explain things in detail. And I think it's so important. This is one of the biggest purchases that people make in their lifetime. So you want to be able to feel comfortable and confident with the people that you're working with. And I just want to say that you do that.
Thank you so much. And that's good. I love having the feedback because I don't know how good I'm doing. I try. I don't know. I feel like everybody's doing what I'm doing. So I don't know if I'm above par, below par, or whatever. So thank you so much for the feedback. I love construction. Yeah, construction.
Construction
I love
Construction
loans.
loans,
too.
one-time close.
We have those.
Yeah.
And I also wanted to mention that we have become members of Homes for Heroes program.
Yes.
So we're affiliates with them. So whenever somebody goes into the website and actually applies, we're kind of linked together. So
Yep.
that you'll get a notification, I'll get a notification, and then we can, help those people out, hopefully.
That beautiful banner right behind Miss
I
Jennifer
know,
Verge.
this is pretty awesome. I don't know if people really realize, but Hometown Heroes isn't just for I mean, Homes
Home
for Heroes, that's another program.
We'll
Homes
talk-
for
we'll
Heroes,
get to
have a
that.
whole-
Yep.
There's a whole bunch of programs that people are really not aware of. But Homes for Heroes is a program that started back, I wanted to say in 2001. I was actually listening to the way that they began, and it was pretty interesting. The way that it starts is close your eyes and imagine September 11th, 2001.
Oh God, I don't want to do
And
that.
as soon as you hear that, of course, it evokes emotion because if you were around during that time, you know
Mhm.
exactly where you were, exactly what you were doing. So it kind of transports you into that time. And these 4 individuals from Minneapolis decided, they were real estate agents, and they just decided that after they saw all of the craziness that was happening and all of the first responders that were working so tirelessly to help everybody or do what they could, that they wanted to give back. So they said, you know what, in our little small town, we're going to give a portion of our commissions back to any veterans, first responders, nurses, EMS, all that type of stuff, police. And what happened is it turned into a bigger and bigger program, and people just started to find out about it, hear about it. And in 2009, I believe, it turned into a national program that is available for people to get some help when they're purchasing a home. Not only when they're purchasing, but when they're selling as well. So if you fall under that criteria, it's not just veterans. So it's, you've got police, firefighters, nurses, teachers.
Teachers.
There's a whole bunch of different professions that qualify for the program. And the way that it works is if you work with me as a realtor, I give you back a portion of my commission at closing. So you'll actually get a check back, like a refund. And you can use that to put furniture in your house. You can use it to put your first monthly mortgage payment, whatever you want to do with it.
Buy that boat.
Buy that boat. It's basically 0.7% of the commission that I would be getting. It's about $700 per 100,000 of the purchase price of the home.
Nice.
So you're getting something back.
What's the median price right now?
Well, we're looking in Pasco County. We're looking probably around 375, 400.
So that's
And
a
then-
good chunk of change that they would get back. then.
Absolutely. And then in Hernando County, it's a little bit less because we're a little bit lower over there. But I mean, anything at closing is getting
Right.
that money back is amazing because
Yep.
you feel like you're drained. All of your finances are gone and you have nothing left. So to be able to have a check back when you close
Sure.
on your home, that's pretty awesome. And the same thing with sellers. They would get a portion of their the money that they normally would pay in commission back. It's reduced. And then if you work with affiliates like lenders and title companies and things like that work with them, the average savings for somebody that's a participant of the program is about $3,000. So that's pretty cool. And
Yeah.
you guys give back what is it credit for?
We credit the appraisal back. They pay for it in the beginning, but just like you, after the closing, we present them with a check between the appraisal refund and your 70 basis points that you give them, based off the purchase price. So it's one big check.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so they can do whatever they want with it, man.
And I don't remember the name of the actual program itself. I think I wrote it down. Oh, it's the Homes for Heroes Foundation. It's a 501c3.
Mhm.
They actually give back to heroes in need. So they take a portion of what they make, Homes for Heroes, and they actually give grants to nonprofit organizations and things like that within our community. So if you or I know of any local programs that cater to veterans, whatever it may be, we can nominate them and they can qualify for $10,000 in grants. They give away $10,000 every month to these types of programs.
Nice.
So anytime, I mean, my husband's part of Guardian Foundation in Hernando County, which gives back to veterans as well. So you could just nominate a local program, and you also become that professional that people will reach out to, affiliated with Homes for Heroes, Homes for Heroes, whenever they think of veteran needing help or anything like that. You're going to be the first person that comes to mind. So it's a pretty great program, and it strikes home for me. My husband's a veteran. He has a Purple Heart. He was in Iraq. So whenever September 11th happened, shortly after that, he was gone. He went for a year. He did 2 tours over there. So, giving back to those people that so selflessly, fought for our country and put their lives on the line to help and protect
Absolutely.
us. It's like, this is a very small thing for us to be able to go do, but it gives back. And I mean, anytime I see a veteran, I make it a point to say, thank you for your service. Welcome home. We appreciate you. They don't get it enough. So if there's something that we can do to help them and give back to them, I want to be a part of it.
Sure. Me too, man. I love it.
Yeah.
So yeah, you and I work together. I get the lead, you get the lead, and then it's like who calls them, who gets a hold of them first. Because I call them right away. I'm like, I got their voicemail.
I know.
And I send them a nice little email to call me when they can, or Adam, I just talked to so-and-so. She should be calling you. I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. And I tell them, I say, oh, Adam's going to give you a call. So don't be alarmed when you see a phone number coming in or he leaves you a voicemail and it's coming from Keystone Mortgage. He's going to help you out. So,
yeah, my subject line says, hello from Adam Long at Keystone Mortgage.
oh, okay. There you go.
Solutions. So I just kind of let them know who I am and why I'm reaching out to them.
And, sometimes people go on that website and they're not at the point where they can actually make a purchase just yet. They're just inquiring about the benefits of the program and things like that. We can still help them at that point. Even though they might not be just ready 100%,
Right.
we can kind of guide them and give them the information that they need to get them on the right path.
Education's key, especially when you're, investing in the largest investment that you're going to make in your life.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely.
I mean, I call it planting seeds, might not be ready to go right now, but let's educate them, put them in the right, talk to them about because they don't know anything. Sometimes like, I've never done this. I'm scared.
Yeah.
I know.
I need somebody to hold my hand.
But it's like the insurance business for me, I know nothing about it. I just call the guy. I'm like, hey, this is what I need. Tell me what I'm supposed to do. Right. Because I'm walking into it blind, like a little kid, I don't know.
And most people are.
Right.
Most people are. They have no idea what's the next step. And I think I was actually having a conversation. I don't remember what we were talking about, but I think it was just like my professional career. When I was in my 20s, I used to work as an ophthalmic. Oh, for the American Entrepreneur. That's why we were talking about it. I used to work for an ophthalmic, as an ophthalmic assistant for an ophthalmologist. Mm-hmm. And I've always, since I was 16, been taking care. That's my kind of my why, my thing. I serve, I take care of people. That's my go-to.
Nurture.
Yeah. So when I was 16, I started working in that ophthalmic assistant's office, and I worked there until I was about 24. And one of the gentlemen, the husband of the wife that I worked with, told me, "Hey, you should get into sales. You have a great personality. You're not going to make money doing this. Sales is where it's at." And I said, "I've never done sales before. Right. I don't know what to do." So he just said, "Get your insurance license and I'll help you, and you'll make great money because you're going to be able to talk to people and you won't have a problem with it." First year I did great. I did that profession for about 12, 13 years. I worked for WellCare, which is a big company in Tampa. And after that, I went into the real estate. And I always say I'm not in sales because I'm not. I want to educate you. I want to help you. I want to get you what you want. I want to make those dreams come true for you. But if it's not the time for you, or if I don't think it's, I'm going to give you the advice that you need.
That's right.
So I'm not the kind of person that's just money hungry and just wants to go for a commission. Even when I did insurance, I would provide them with the benefits. And there's times where I would say, you know what? The company that you have is actually better, offering better benefits, or your doctors are not going to be on here. Your medications are not going to be on here. I don't recommend you join. And people will go, what? You're not trying to sell this to me?
No, not at all.
And that's the same way I've always been. I have the mentality of just being there to serve and help. And there's no better feeling than helping someone get finally the keys to their home, seeing the kids picking out their room, figuring out, oh, this is where I'm going to play in. This is where I'm going to stay. I mean, it's really awesome to be able to be a small part of that for somebody.
It sure is. I mean, I enjoy first-time home buyers because I want to explain to them why I'm doing what I'm doing, or why I need that from you. Not just be vague, and quick talk. I'm not a snake oil salesman. I'm not a salesman, period. If you want to call it sell, with education, taking time with people, explain it to them, it helps them because they get scared. I mean, I have my wedding planner. I got married back in 2014. She reached out to my wife. She's like, "How's my favorite couple doing?" Oh my! Well, she goes, "My husband and I, it's been 14 years. And we finally decided we want to buy." Doesn't your husband do that for a living?
14 years
later.
Wow.
So, because I post, she shares everything I do.
Talk about a slow-growing seed. You planted that one a while ago, didn't you?
I did, man.
But it works.
It works.
It works.
But she sees my stuff on social media every day, so that helps. But anyway, she reached out. We're going to be going to application here soon. But she's like, "I just don't know what to do. I've never done this before." And I'm like, "Great. I can't wait to explain this and tell you what's the next step and why we need to get this, that, and the other." Because some people go, "Why do you need that? What?" And then I'm like, "Well, let me tell you. I'll tell you exactly." "Oh, okay. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it."
And
So-
it actually makes your job a little bit easier when you've given them the information and they understand why they have to provide it. Then they give it to you quicker. Because sometimes
Yeah.
you just give them a list of stuff and then they go, oh God, I don't want to deal with all this. But if
Right.
you say, hey, we need this XYZ because of this to get you this,
Yeah.
they'll jump on it.
And it's not just that, there's that, identity theft.
big
Oh,
time.
yeah.
People are
They're worried sick about, giving away their personal information. I mean, you see it, it's every day on the TV, it's on the radio, the companies that are always, pushing that stuff out there. We can protect your identity.
Mhm.
This is what's going to happen if we don't do it for you. So, we do deal with those customers that, they give us some pushback on supplying that stuff, but he's really good in that aspect because he does educate them up front.
Mhm.
So, when it does come, when it comes time for asking for something, their financial lives, basically, they may be reluctant to do it, because of their own insecurities, but they trust him enough to go ahead and move forward with it.
And that's
So,
important.
yeah.
I mean, having trust in the person that you're dealing with to make a purchase this large is huge.
and I'm old school too, because I try to go to their
Yeah,
house just
like-
like
Do
this.
you really?
He sure does.
I sit
This
there,
guy goes
I'm
to
like,
closings in
I'm
like Sun
I
City.
want you to watch
Like,
exact-
God.
I said, I want to.
Yeah.
I want you to see exactly what we're doing
Yeah.
here. We're going to
That's
do an
awesome.
application together.
Yeah, he does.
Now, sometimes we're like, well,
Which is
can you
rare.
just send me an application, the link to your app? And I'm like, I'm fine with that too.
You won't get that with the number 2 mortgage broker in the
No.
country.
No.
But I know but I like to. I want them to see me doing exactly what I'm doing, or I'll
Yeah.
let them do it if they want to fill it in. I've
It'll-
sat
it
at
puts them at ease.
kitchen
That's awesome.
tables helping
Instantly.
getting stuff unfroze. Like people freeze their credit
Yes.
because they don't. And we sat there on a conference call to unfreeze it so I could pull her credit. And that was the Sun City Center deal.
No way.
They don't. They just weren't. Not in the computer so
Yeah,
much. So I said,
not as
look, I'm
savvy.
coming to your house. We're going to sit down together and we're going to do this. And I did. And she had everything ready for me.
That's awesome.
And closings, I'll roll down there as well. I have one in South Florida, Miramar, next week. I don't know if I'm going to try. But I don't. If I didn't have to take my daughter to school every day and pick her up, I'd be out. I'm like, I'm coming, or I'll come down and get a hotel room for the night before, and I'll be at the closing in the morning. with
That
you
is
guys.
not normal.
Well, they call me. They call me
It's
back.
Not
8
these
years
days.
ago, I did. I
Yeah.
financed them, and they remember me.
That
Yep.
is all well because you hadn't made an impression. You went and saw them, and
I still had a program on my phone.
is that phone 8 years old?
No, but
Okay.
when you get new,
No,
when you
just
get new ones, how you update, you just transfer all your contacts.
kidding.
And it was still in there. Now she had since married, so her last name was different, but she called me and I'm like, Amy. And
Yeah.
I'm like, I had no idea.
It's planting those seeds.
She goes, hey, I can't believe you remember me. I go, yeah, you're in my phone. So she's like, we're back in Florida. We're down here in South Florida and we want to buy. We have everything ready to go.
That is awesome.
What you need?
I don't know anybody
I see.
that will go to somebody's house and actually sit down and
Yeah.
and go over.
He
their
goes to the
mortgage.
closings too.
That's great.
Oh, man.
That's something new that I've learned. Look at that. You go above and beyond. Mr.
Well, it's a little like a lot of the title people are like, oh, the lender's here.
What's
too?
this guy doing here?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, man, I got a goodie bag.
Yeah.
I'm taking photos. I got my little props.
That's
Yep.
awesome. You come through with the real estate agent. You have a whole team of people that come through to the title company for the closing.
Yeah, I did. Yep. So anyway,
Adam
that's,
and the entourage. Maybe that's
Yeah.
what we should call this. What do you think?
it's a time for celebrate.
Slow motion
It's
video.
a time for celebration. You want to be there, man.
Absolutely.
That's what I do.
You
So
can
anyway,
act like you're whipping your hair as you're walking in
In slow-mo.
in the breeze.
yeah, with his hair.
All that hair.
So now there is one this 7 a.m. mobile closing at their house this Friday. I don't think I'll be at that one.
7 a.m. That's
Well,
really early.
he works for a builder, so he's got a busy day. So he's like, I need him here at 7:30.
Oh
I'm
my.
like, well, we got one for 7. How's that work?
Holy moly.
Probably even better.
Yeah, so they can get it done, signed, and he needs to go to work. So anyway,
That's awesome.
you know who else we should talk about?
Mm.
You just talked about the home for heroes, right?
Yes.
How about the hometown heroes?
Yeah, I'll let you touch on that.
Like, here in Florida, obviously, DeSantis made it available for all of us on the wholesale side of things.
Yep.
For a while there, it was only available for some of the huge retail banks.
Mhm.
Okay, but
Thank you for that, Governor Ron DeSantis.
Thank you, sir.
the FAMB got together and we all wrote a bunch of letters to the congressman and everyone else. And finally they allowed us to have it. So the way it works is there's a laundry list of people that
Qualify.
like I'm talking about anesthesiologists. Obviously we have our teachers, our doctors, our firefighters, police, veterans,
Nurses.
of course.
But
but
the nurses.
I did. Did I throw that? My wife's a nurse. I
I thought
better.
you said
My
Yeah,
wife is a
his
nurse,
wife's
so
a
I'll
nurse.
throw that in.
I was gonna say something earlier,
get in
and
trouble.
I was waiting for you to say it.
So 5%
His wife's awesome.
of the loan amount. 5% of the loan amount is giving in down payment assistance.
That's awesome.
Okay.
Nice.
And that's a chunk of change. Now, will it cover everything? It might not.
Is there a cap on that loan amount?
On the
Up
loan
to
amount?
20
5%.
up to 25,000, wasn't it?
Oh, it's not to exceed $25,000.
Yeah.
That's pretty
Yeah.
5% of a
5% of the loan amount,
you
not
know.
to exceed 25,000. Thank you, sir. I was like, what loan amount? You mean the? So anyway, there are some income caps. However, they're pretty high
Mhm.
for Pasco County. Don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. I think it's like $125,600, which isn't low. So
No, that's pretty
you
good.
know, it's so
I mean,
a
if
lot
an
of
anesthesiologist is on there, he's
yeah,
gonna make a couple
if
bucks,
you're a
you know what I mean?
doctor,
yeah.
you might make too much money.
Yeah.
And it's household as well. It's not just the actual borrower. So you got to
Okay.
watch out. So
Similar to
combined
USDA
income,
then.
if you're an FHP and you have a wife that's earning as well pretty decent, and if you're about 180 grand a year, you're going to exceed.
Mhm.
So anyway,
Sounds kind of similar to USDA
yeah,
and the qualifications. for
yeah.
income.
Except for these income caps are a little bit higher than USDA, but it's a great program. It is a second mortgage. You don't pay it back. Well, unless you
Sell
know,
the
30 years, it's due. It's due back. It's like
Yeah.
a balloon, 30-year balloon. So you can always refinance it into your first mortgage. If you ever refi, obviously, if you sell,
You pay
then the
back.
proceeds from the sale pays it back. So that's how it works in a nutshell. So anyway, that's another.
Pretty much when people call in, you can give them the best program that's going to fit their needs the best.
Right. And the interest rates are pretty good. They're based off of the e-housing here in Florida, the down payment assistance website. It's not like you go to our normal lenders and look at their daily interest rates. It's like, say, one day it could be 6.375. It fluctuates.
Mhm.
You have to check it like every other day. It could be 6 one day. So it does move, but it's not like you're pricing it out like a regular FHA or conventional mortgage. It's like, here's the set rate for the Hometown Heroes, and that's just what it is.
And that's
So,
one of the reasons why I tell my clients to reach out to a lender that is a broker that is able to provide different types of programs. Because what people don't realize is when you go, oh, I've been banking with whoever for 20 years and
Mhm.
I want to get a loan from them.
They've been taking them to the cleaners for 20 years.
Exactly.
basically.
That and the bank doesn't have as many different products to offer you as a lender that is we have a little guy on the corner here. They're not going to be able to offer you as many different products as you would be able to offer because you have,
you have to fit within their four walls of their overlays and things of that nature. Things that we can get done, they're going to be like, oh no, we're capped at this, or we can't do that. Okay, so you better be a cookie cutter
Mhm.
for sure. And we all know not everybody's a cookie cutter loan.
Exactly.
So yeah, it's definitely better to use a wholesale, like a mortgage broker.
Mhm.
We get better rates, which saves you more
Lot of
money over a period of time of your loan life.
Mhm.
So, yep.
So it's really important for people to know that because I know when I say, oh, we have this mortgage lender or this one, and they go, oh, I've never heard of that name, or, I just want to go to my bank. They don't realize that it's beneficial to them to go with somebody like you.
Let's just call it like self-employed individuals. We all know they can, be creative when filing their taxes. Or if you're 1099, you're considered self-employed, right? It's non-taxable income. And we're created. So on your 1040s or your Schedule C or your 1120s, or whatever, however you file for your business, your net proceeds might not be that awesome. They're not that high, not to qualify for anything worthy of living in.
Yeah.
So there's other products out there like business bank statement. You can do
Yep.
personal as well, but business bank statement programs that you can utilize because that shows the cash flow. We all know the cash flow's there, but that you can go down as a non-QM product. You can always go that route. A lot of people have a lot of flow. You get 12 months or 24 months business bank statements and do an average of their deposits.
That's awesome.
So that's what they use for qualifying income. Now, what they do, I'm going to use a real easy example here. So let's just say your average deposits over 12 months, it's $20,000 a month, right?
Sweet.
So what they do, most lenders will they'll default to a 50% expense ratio because we all know there's expenses in running a business, right?
Mhm.
So they'll take that 20 and slash it in half. 50% was it 10 grand?
10 grand.
So you still have 10 grand to qualify with, which isn't shabby.
Mm-mm.
You can get a CPA letter. It's called an expense ratio letter, and you can get that expense ratio cut down lower than that. However, a lot of CPAs are a little leery about writing something like that. They feel like they're held liable if something would happen to
Happens.
that loan. So anyway, that's another alternative where you go into retail bank, forget about it.
They're not going to be able to do anything for you.
Yeah, the
That's-
non-QM and retail's pretty
No,
much
it's
non-existent.
non-existent.
That's another aspect of the education process. I have a lot of people that reach out to me that are business owners, and they're like, okay, what do I do? This is where I'm at. And they don't realize that, yeah, we have a lot of things that we can put as expenses and so that we don't have to pay as much in taxes. But if you don't show that you're making a certain amount, you're not going to be able to buy anything.
Not full
Right.
doc anyway. So you have to
Exactly.
go alternative,
It's going to make it
Which
more
means-
difficult,
more non-QM.
basically.
And it's a little bit riskier loan for an investor,
Mhm.
but they make it available because they know not everybody can go full doc.
Mhm.
A lot of people that are self-employed or 1099.
Yeah. So
Because
I think that's important that we educate those, not homeowners, business owners, and let them know that if they are thinking about making a purchase in the near future, they want to make sure that they reflect the income that they need to in order for them to qualify for something.
I've done it. If they want to go full doc, you got to basically look. You got to bite the bullet for the
Mhm.
next 2 years.
Yes.
And they're like, "Well, Adam, how much do I have to show? What's
Exactly.
because we're going to do a 24-month average. Now you can add some certain things back into that bottom line, depreciation, depletion, just for a couple of things that I use. But they're going to have to stroke a check to the IRS
Mhm.
for the next 2 years. But after that, I said, do whatever you want.
Mhm.
After you get into your house, do whatever you
Yeah.
want. So you have to figure out what they have to show so that they know what they can shop for. Like we want to buy a house for 450 grand.
Mhm.
Okay, well you're gonna, pull your credit. You're gonna need to show this much every month to qualify, or this much per month to qualify. So let's see, divided by 24 months. So, okay, you need to show your bottom line needs to be $95,000.
Mhm. So will you
Roughly.
help them work that math backwards?
Yes,
You will. Okay.
that's what I had to do a couple times because I'm like, they're like, their bottom line's like, 15 grand.
I know, like,
after it's all
how
said,
do
and
you
I'm like,
live
look,
on
my
50?
grocery receipts are $1 million. But
Yeah, exactly. So getting that information and helping them learn that along the way is very helpful. I had to do it. I'm a 1099. So I had to show a specific amount in order to qualify for mine. And my CPA was like, this is what you have to do. And I did. I bit the bullet and did what I had to do. And we're good now.
IRS allows payment plans. That's cool.
Yeah, I know. That's fun. Good old Uncle Sam.
But some people that own business, they will pay that. They'll W-2 themselves legitimately.
I do now.
W-2. Like I'll pay myself a salary,
Mhm.
and I don't know. Do you do Schedule C or 1120? I don't want to get personal. but you
Well,
don't
I
have to tell me.
itemize everything. I pay myself. I have
Okay.
a ADP, which
Alright.
is the
Payroll.
payroll company. So I pay myself out of my business every month. So
Okay.
I'm a W-2.
Good. So even
Makes
that,
it
so
easier,
you
doesn't
can
it?
utilize that to
100%.
qualify. Number one. But if you're doing a Schedule C or say it's 1120, and you still have leftover money on the bottom,
Mhm.
Your CPA thinks
you can utilize that's additional self-employment income you can use for qualifying on top of your W-2 earnings. Obviously, if it's moving in the right direction, year after year, you want to be at or a little above. You don't want to show declining income
Yep, exactly.
as a
'cause that'll hurt
business
you.
owner. Yeah, because thanks. What's going on with it?
I just found out at the end of last year that you can hire your children. My son is 15, God willing, he'll be 16 in May. And you can hire your child to work part-time for you and your business. And you can actually pay them up to, I think it was 12,000 last year. I think it went up a little bit higher. And that's basically part of your expenses for your business.
Mhm.
So he's an employee
Yeah.
of Jen Purge, PA, realtor.
All right.
nice.
So that's actually another little benefit that you can have and show that, you're paying an employee. And it helps him because he's also building some money and I put him to work.
That's right, man. Responsibility.
I'm like, I need
So
500 of
now,
these stuffed.
now she can legally fire her kid and kick him out of the place of business for not doing what he's supposed to do.
He's actually a good kid. I can't complain.
No, I
He's a
know.
he's a good one. But I can fire him.
Well,
Yes.
that's good. He's learning young.
Yeah, we got
learning
to
young.
teach our kids, man. I think
Getting
one
in
of,
this business young is
one of the
be a
biggest
whiz kid
things
later on in life.
Oh my Lord.
for our
Especially real estate. Like, the big three, real estate being one of them, investing, stocks, that kind of stuff. Uh, the big two, those are like what I'm passionate about.
Mhm.
And I just wish I would have just followed my dream from middle school instead of listening to my teachers.
So you were into investing and stuff at that
I
time?
was, yes. In 7th grade for a career day, they asked me what I wanted to be. And I told them a stockbroker.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Absolutely am infatuated with the markets and how it moves and the emotions behind the markets. There's a lot of
Takes a special
psychology.
person. For me, I'm just like, oh God, what? Just tell me how much I got to give you and how much I'll make at the end.
I was emotional yesterday.
A little bit.
I was emotional yesterday because I've been watching
Those
the
dang chip makers, man.
yeah, I've been watching the MBS market, waiting for a little because we were way oversold on the MBS, and I was waiting for a little a recovery, and then Powell ran his mouth yesterday,
Oh
and
yeah.
I went, oh,
I was reading about it this morning.
I watched the big red candle.
Oh, I think
Yep.
it's important for us to teach our kids about investing.
Absolutely is.
And about how the world works. They didn't teach any of that to us when we were in school.
No.
And half of the stuff that they did teach us we never really use ever again. But all of this practical stuff, investing.
I learned how to sew a pillow.
I did too. I
Right?
had home ec.
Yeah, me
I had
too.
shop class.
I took shop. Yeah, I had to take
I
shop.
Shop.
did
home
that. That
ec.
was pretty fun.
But I also took physics. So
Oh God.
yeah,
No, thank you.
I wasn't.
Physics.
No, I
My
did
son
chemistry.
is doing physics next year.
good for him. Like I love like astronomy and
I love
all
that too.
Like, I love all that stuff.
I love the stars, the moon, all that kind of good stuff. But when it comes to the mathematical chemistry and all that kind of stuff, I'm just
Yeah.
like, ugh. No.
Yep.
Home ec was the best in high school because I'd always walk by Mrs. Moyer's class when they were cooking.
Shout out to Miss Moyer.
Yo, and I'm starving. It's because before lunch, you know how I eat, and I'm like walking up. I'm like, what do you got? What do you got in there, Mrs.
Aw.
Moyer?
What are we making
Did you
today?
make some banana bread?
Oh my gosh. I remember I made snickerdoodles in home ec when
We
I
did
was in middle school.
Rice Krispie treats
Did
was
you?
that? What the? We learned what a double burner was. Come on, man. I'm gonna live off of this the rest of my life.
We had some cool stuff, but they actually taught us some things. I mean, they did driver's ed in there. They did
Mm.
home ec. They did all those types of
Driver's ed when the teacher had the brake pedal on the passenger side.
Yes.
I remember going like in our school, we were going out after school to do it, and the crosswalk, right? Kids are way over almost on the sidewalk on the other side. So I start to go. He slams that brake.
Oh,
he goes,
no.
"They are not out of the crosswalk. You
Right.
do not
Yeah.
go." I go, "Oh yeah."
Never did that
And you
again.
drive with 10 and 2, not one hand and one hand on the gear shift.
Yeah, I
go,
got yelled at for palming the wheel. I was driving since I was 13.
I think I failed my first driver's test because I drove one hand on the wheel and one
Yeah.
on the shifter. And he's
Yeah.
like,
Oh no.
I
Well,
gotta,
how
gotta
the heck
keep
are you
one
supposed to-
free for the woman. Come
Yeah.
on.
Yeah,
Arm's got to go here.
one for the radio.
Oh my God! If he could see us now, we're texting and
Oh,
eating
God,
and
no.
driving and with the
I
meeting.
don't, that I don't do though. I can honestly say I don't text.
Oh my
them.
God! I see people all
Voice
the time
command.
Not me.
and
Yep.
makeup on and eating
Yep.
a burger and the salad and
Speech to text.
Yeah.
If I have to answer anything.
and half the time
it's
doesn't
at a
say
red
it
light.
right when you speak to
I know,
text.
right?
Yeah.
I will tell you this, like the one thing, like I loved my Samsung phone. My whole family, everybody I know has Apple phones. So
Shout out to
I had
Samsung.
I had to switch, my like this, for this stuff.
Yeah.
And the speech to text on Galaxy is way worse. Worse than Apple.
Really?
Yep. Like you'll say a word, that can be spelled a couple different ways with Apple, and it'll figure out the context that it's being used in, and then you can watch it actually switch to
Yeah.
Galaxy. It doesn't do that. It's
No.
just like you said
But
it, bro.
your pictures are phenomenal.
Yeah, the pictures are nice.
Yeah. I
My
tried to
eyes
take a
are-
picture of the moon with my iPhone and it's like potato quality.
Well, what it does, it enhances the light around it, which like people are like, oh, it looks like it's daylight. I go, no, it's dark.
I
It's
used,
just
I used
terrible.
to trade with my Galaxy Note. That thing was amazing.
Yeah.
It was like a super powered computer. Thing was amazing.
Crazy. Yeah, I've always been iPhone. I've never.
I'm
had
an iPhone kid, man. I remember my old flip Nokia. Nokia. I had the one from
They're gonna find one of them. In
it didn't work
10,000
like the one
years.
from, the
And
Matrix.
it's gonna work
What he
still.
goes and the thing automatically went down. No, mine went. You had to slide it down manually.
How about the Nextel?
Yeah.
I
Oh,
had-
yeah.
I had Nextel.
Yeah, we're old.
Yes.
Mhm.
Flip phones. Remember, you had to text. You had to like go through the Apple. Like if you
Oh.
wanted to, like you had to tip
Use-
it like 3 times,
Yeah.
like to get to the letter you wanted.
Letter
It's like,
C.
I had beepers, man. That's how
Yeah.
far I go.
you had to keep your quarters in your car so you could pull over and use a payphone.
My son-
911. Somebody just paged me 911. I got to pull over
I gotta go.
immediately.
I got a call.
It's like
call
a
him back.
doctor.
What are you doing?
My son actually, he would just asked us if he can ask a girl out. So he asked her out
Yay.
yesterday. She said
At least
yes.
he
She
came to
said
you
yes.
and said
He did. He's so
Yeah.
awesome.
he probably already did it though. Just so
He
you know.
probably, that's what I said. I was like, did you already do it? Or he's like, no, I really, yeah, right.
All right.
But I was
Good.
telling him, I'm like, so do you guys like text each other back and forth and this and that? He's like, yeah. I said, when we were kids, I'm like, what are you gonna do? Ask her, yes, no. Do you like me? Yes, no,
Or maybe.
Which one? And then we would pass the
Yep.
note. He's like, you wrote notes. I'm like, yeah, that's.
And then
how
it would
old I
sit
am."
on the phone that was attached to the
Oh,
wall for an hour.
Oh, geez. Or what about when your teacher intercepted a note in
Oh.
class and you'd read it in front of
Read
everybody?
it in front of everyone.
Okie dokie. It looks like Jennifer, like so-and-so wants to go to the dance.
So embarrassing. Yes, that's exactly. But yes, we've dated ourselves. We're freaking old.
Yes.
That's all good.
That's okay.
That shows us we're mature, maybe.
I was telling Courtney the other day, my daughter, Courtney, I was explaining to her how we didn't even have internet.
Oh god.
Like that wasn't even a thing.
Commodore 64.
Yeah, the first computer I saw was a Commodore 64 from my step grandfather, and he was doing DOS programming.
Oh
MS
my god, I missed that.
and he's I remember how just enthusiastic and passionate he was about it. And he kept telling me, "This is the future." And I'm like,
Whatever.
Give me my floppy
Crazy.
disk.
I don't know what that
Floppy disk.
says. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, no, Oregon Trail.
Oregon Trail. Died by a snake bite.
Oh man, I love that show.
Died from the plague.
Yep.
I was.
Dysentery.
What were we watching?
1883.
1883.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah,
I'm
she
like,
got
oh
bit.
my
In the, she got bit in the butt
Yep. The
by the
poor little girl.
rattlesnake.
I was
Like,
so mad.
You didn't hear that rattler?
so
I
the
know.
warning.
Give me a break.
They give you a nice warning. Get away.
Give me a break. No, it is pretty funny though. That was in 1883. I said the same thing. I'm like, this is like Oregon Trail. What the
Yep.
heck is happening here?
Yep. Trail of Tears, man.
Yeah, it's crazy how technology has come. I actually saw a video the other day about I don't know, one of those Good Morning America or something when the internet just came out. I think it's like Bryant Gumbel, and they were talking about it, and they were going, "Oh my gosh, you could send these emails and things to each other, and it's
Yeah.
instantly delivered." And it was just this like 10 minutes
Chat
of them like
rooms.
not understanding the concept.
trying
And
to
now-
keep up with the scrolling chat room and
Yeah.
AOL back in the day.
And now it's just in the palm of our hand,
Oh my
and
God.
we
The
can literally
.com,
send
the
things in
.com
instant-
era, the big old
Yeah.
bubble.
Yeah. We've come a long way, baby.
Yeah, now our Wizard of Pods, we forgot to mention Jesse Guthrie from
Yes.
JLG
Jesse.
Productions, sitting back there in the back running the podcast for us,
Yes, sir.
is an expert with the new AI chatbots.
Oh, really? Oh, that's
Yes.
cool.
He's doing classes, teaching people how to use it. And he's teaching me a lot of stuff. Just because my kid and his kid play baseball together, so we see each other a lot, and we're always messing around with the chatbots, making it do different things.
I
It's
mean,
pretty
it's the
funny.
future. It's the
It,
wave
it
of the
absolutely
future.
is. Yeah, he's got this thing where he can have an avatar that looks like a human being, like a legit person, and he can tell it what to say, and it'll stand there and talk to you, hand motions and everything. And
Get out.
you're like, holy crap,
That's creepy.
it is creepy.
I just saw that movie Megan. Did you see that?
Oh, I saw the previews.
Did-
I didn't watch
oh,
that yet.
Yeah. It's basically an AI
Yeah,
doll.
that little crazy girl.
She
doll.
is
Yeah.
crazy. It's like a Chucky, but advanced.
Oh my
Whatever you do, you protect my daughter.
Yes.
Protect daughter.
Yeah. But the thing is that she starts to learn
I know.
your schedule. She starts to learn what you like, what you
Mhm.
don't like, and all that kind of stuff. And it's
Yeah.
just like technology.
That's
It
what's
starts to learn
happening.
off of your stuff. So that's where we're going.
Neural networking.
It's kind of a little bit
Lord.
scary, but I guess people were scared of the internet back then. So maybe we just have to get used to it.
Well, we got through 2012.
2012. Oh,
Yeah,
the end of the world.
The end of the world. Yeah.
Not the fifth end of the world or
I know,
100th end
right?
of the world.
First, it was 2000 when everything was supposed to
Y2K.
crash and die, right?
Yeah, I remember working that night. I was ready for midnight.
I
I'm
know.
like, ready? Here we
We all
I'm
were
like,
bracing ourselves.
Please, let's had a drink ready. Let's go.
Nothing's
Great.
happening.
Fireworks are going to be awesome.
Nothing's
And
happening.
nothing happened. Yeah, I
Yep,
know.
and
I
then-
remember that.
And then we had 2012 to look forward to. Now, what do we
That
have
was
to
what
look
the
forward
Mayan calendar or
Yeah,
something, right?
yeah, the
that the
long
world was going to
calendar.
end.
Yep.
Yes, I remember that too. People were preparing themselves.
to? That was nuts.
Yeah. The end is
People
near.
are nuts.
I don't even.
Oh, so we're off on a tangent.
Oh, yeah.
Totally different.
Sorry about that,
tangent.
everybody.
So mortgages and real estate.
It's
And
it gets a
technology.
little boring. We had to just go off.
We were
five
not
minutes.
boring. We were super, super awesome.
I mean,
Super.
I know we
Super.
are. I just didn't think people wanted to hear about mortgages too much.
It's good
Hey, this-
information.
So now we're
So-
coming back to it.
So real talk with Adam covers a wide variety of topics.
does.
Obviously,
Yeah.
the real talk. obviously you're a loan originator here at Keystone. Jennifer's a real estate agent with Remax. So you guys have a professional working relationship, and real talk
Real talk.
is about that relationship and what you guys do. But we also got to sprinkle some extra
Yep.
things in there,
Yeah.
which is where I come in, right?
You're the sprinkles.
Adam's like, Chris, just come in and
Yeah. Keep me going in case I start running out of gas.
he's like, let your ADD kick in. And
That's why, hey,
whatever.
I'm all hopped up on Celsius, man. I can't stop. I had 2 cups of coffee and a Celsius.
Chris is the sprinkle on top.
yeah.
So I wanted to get this out before I forget. So I wanted to talk about FHA mortgages,
Mhm.
which was a mortgage that was stepped over left and right when we had offers back in the selling era when the sellers controlled. Nobody wanted to talk about VA loans. Nobody wanted to accept an FHA loan. Heck, it was even hard to get a conventional offer accepted because everybody had cash.
Yeah.
Anyway, so FHA, everybody knows they have.
What a place for our country to be in, though, if you think about
Well,
it.
yeah, you're stepping.
You know what I
up.
mean?
You
Think
can't-
about it.
Can't
Like,
even get a veteran in
how many-
financed. I'm like, come on, man.
a decade ago, nobody was using cash. Nobody.
It's crazy.
And now, of course, cash is king, but dang, man, like people have
Well,
really come
dude,
a long way in the last 10
I
years.
mean, everybody
financially.
like you talked to a lot. I mean, everybody where they came from. You asked them why'd you come here?
Yeah.
We hate the winter.
yes.
We don't like the politics where we live because you
Yes.
guys are just having a blast
those
down
are,
here.
those are the
while
two
we're
things.
shut down. So
Yeah.
here we're coming to Florida. It's the
coming to
wild, wild
party.
west down there. So I watched it.
It does seem like that, right?
I
Especially when you're on I-4.
Florida man.
Went
Yeah.
to see Burt Kreischer the other week, and one of his open up guys.
Oh, did you
he's from-
go?
Yeah, he was from
Nice.
California.
Oh.
And he's like, he started dating a girl right before the whole pandemic thing, and he goes, and then
The machine.
they were shut down, and he's like, we're already in marriage counseling because we were together so often.
Ugh.
People aren't made to be together
I
that
know,
much, right?
It's a lot.
And then I'm looking over here in Florida, like y'all are just partying, man, just getting,
Yeah.
just doing whatever y'all want.
Yeah.
So a lot of people came down for that. Obviously, they're sick of the weather.
Yeah, those are the two
cold.
things. It's the weather and politics.
So anyway, there you go.
We do it a little
But that's why the
differently here in
cash was
Florida.
here. Everybody, New York, California, property values are high up there. They sell their house up
Ridiculous.
there.
And they could buy 4
They
down
got
here.
they got a chunk of change
So-
rolling down here. Like, hey, I got this.
I'll interject something right there
All right.
on that California, New York note. So we're starting to see that trend in property values that those two states had as far as the increase in property values. Because along with property value increases comes what? Increased taxes.
And increased taxes
So-
and homeowners insurance.
So all of that stuff is going up. That's what drove a lot of people out of those states. Also, I have lifelong friends that lived in California and San Diego actually, and they couldn't afford the taxes,
That's crazy.
so they had to move. They moved to Arizona.
Can imagine.
Moved further east.
The
I'm trying to
state-
talk them into moving here, but
Yeah. State taxes and stuff are crazy too.
Thank God
Yeah.
we have a 3% cap.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's something I tell my borrowers too. Like if they're buying a house and I look up the tax bill and somebody's been there for 20 years.
that's if it's homesteaded though, right?
Yeah, they're homesteaded.
Yeah.
But the minute I learned a lot with Mike Wells, the property appraiser for Pasco County the other week in
Yeah.
regards to
I wanted to
yeah.
come to
Shout
that.
out.
I
Shout out to
couldn't.
Mike. Shout out to Mike because that was an amazing,
Can we do it
amazing
again?
educational session.
yeah. And my buddy that it was Keystone Title.
Keystone Title,
And
yes.
the owner, this is crazy.
Yeah.
We looked at each other like we knew each other. And then after it was over, he goes, you look familiar. I'm like, yeah, you do too. And he goes, did you used to bartend at
Oh my
Bahasa
goodness.
Lounge? I go, yeah, a long time ago. He goes, oh my God, I was your bar back.
Isn't that funny?
He was 19 years
world.
old.
It is.
And now he's an attorney
Oh,
and
hi.
owns a title company, different locations. Doing good for him.
That
I
was
said,
back when you had your Nokia phone.
actually, it was. I had a flip. I remember I was because I put it up on the shelf and this little silver thing. That's exactly. That's how
That's
long ago
funny.
that was. But yeah, I was like, we were hugging it out, man. He was like, I'm calling Mike, the other bar backs. I'm calling him right now. I'm letting
That's
him know I ran into you. So yeah.
All right. So real quick.
All right, go.
You wanted to touch on FHA loans.
Yes.
But we do have to wrap.
All right, let's do this real quick. So FHA right now, obviously, there's mortgage insurance, and the factor is 0.85 on the month. They call it annual, but it's 0.85 on the monthly for the MI. They're reducing it to 50.55, so that's 30 basis point reduction in mortgage insurance. Obviously, it lowers your mortgage insurance, lowers your payment.
Yeah.
It also, just for an example, like on a $300,000 loan, that'd be like a $75 a month reduction.
Wow.
So not only does it help you lower your payment, but also helps you maybe qualify for a little bit more of a home if you're right on that cusp, in your price point. So that's that. Done with it. Done. Moving on to VA. Okay, VA coming up right now. We got the funding fee. So if you're not, sometimes the veterans are exempt if they have some type of disability. They're exempt from the funding fee. So obviously this does not apply. But if you're not exempt, there's a VA funding fee for initial use and subsequent use. It's financed in the loan, so you're not coming out of pocket, but you finance it over 30 years, right?
Yeah.
And it increases the loan amount a bit, depending on the size of the purchase price. So currently, for the initial,
I'm going to cheat.
I'm going to cheat real quick because I don't want to give bad information.
That's no fair. I can't see. No, I'm just kidding.
What are they right
Stealing
now?
the answers.
Okay. So for your initial use, the funding fee is 2.3% on initial, and for subsequent use, 3.6.
Yikes.
Massive. Yeah.
I
So
like your watch, by the way.
Oh, thanks.
It's
And
nice.
And so starting April 7th, 2023, your initial use with less than 5% down will be 2.15%,
Mm.
and the subsequent use will be 3.3. So funding fee percentages are 2.15 and 3.3. Now, obviously, some people put down more money on VA loans. They don't have to. I tell them don't
Yeah.
finance the
exactly.
whole thing because it's 100%. But if you put down more money, the actual funding fee will drop. Like just for an example, 5% or more, it'll be 1.5.
Oh,
So,
wow.
so anyway, just throwing that out there. Done.
Yeah, that's good.
Done.
I don't think people realize
That's coming
that.
up April 7th. So
That's awesome.
for all you veterans out there,
There's a lot of programs for the veterans,
Yes.
man.
Yep.
mm,
These are the two people to talk to, Jennifer
Let's-
Verge,
let us-
Remax, and
let us give back to
Adam
you guys.
Long.
You guys deserve it.
Absolutely.
Use your entitlement, please.
Yeah.
You deserve it.
There's so many benefits out there that they don't know about, so we want to try and educate them as much as
Mhm.
possible.
And rates are
Absolutely.
pretty decent. So, all right.
All right, let's
Well, I
wrap it
appreciate
up.
you guys
Well,
having
yes,
me.
Thank you for
Yeah.
coming in. I'd love it. Great conversation.
I was invited to this one too.
I know.
All right.
Thank you, Chris.
Thanks, Adam.
Thank
Appreciate
you,
it, bro.
Jesse.
Yep.
Yes, thank you so much. We appreciate it. And
Take
then
it home, man. Take
if
it home.
you guys, I have a Facebook page, Jen Verge Realtor. I'm also on
I
Instagram.
think I've seen that page.
Yeah, I know. Jesse was saying, I see all your videos. It's funny because I'll go to places and people will be like, "Oh, I know you," and I'm like, "Really? I see you on Facebook."
Yeah.
And sometimes it's silly videos.
And the Lowe's commercials. Those
And the
are in there.
Lowe's.
Yep.
To throw that in there.
That's good.
So yeah, Jen Verge Realtor. And then if any questions or anything as far as how the programs work and you want to reach out to me directly, my phone number is 352-610-0030. And you can text, give me a call, whatever you like.
Jesse will add all that stuff in.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, when he does editing on it. So
Well, it's
It'll be up
10:58
there.
and you need to pack.
I
Yeah.
do. I have to go to a ribbon cutting, man.
All right.
Nice.
One
Well,
thing
that-
after the other.
All
Yep.
right. Well, thanks for coming in today.
Thank
I
you so
enjoyed
much.
our dialogue.
I
It
did
was
too.
awesome. So we're going to wrap it up with Real Talk with Adam, and we'll be back soon, hopefully.
Thank
All right.
you.
Later, guys.
Take
Bye.
care.